When Neville Goddard spoke of signs and wonders, he wasn't describing far-off miracles or supernatural theatrics. He was revealing a living law of consciousness. A sign is the whisper, the subtle evidence that your inner world is shifting. A wonder is the echo, the full manifestation that proves imagination creates reality. Tonight, we explore how Neville tied these ancient words to the law of assumption, showing us that signs and wonders are not random. They are the natural results of belief. Listen out for our explanations along the way, and stay until the end for our full take on how to live this teaching.
Tonight's subject is signs and wonders. We are told in Scripture that the Lord brought his people out of Egypt with signs and wonders. In Scripture, a sign is a demonstration of God's favor. As we are told in the 86th Psalm, and David is speaking, "Show me a sign of thy favor." All the signs and the wonders and the miracles of God. But he begins by telling us it is a parable. Well, a parable is a story told as if it were true, leaving the one who hears it to discover its fictitious nature, its character, and extract its true meaning, just what it is trying to tell man. It's difficult to tell these stories on this level, so they're told in the form of, well, signs and wonders.
Neville begins by grounding us in Scripture. Signs and wonders are not distant miracles or strange events. They are living demonstrations of favor and alignment. A sign is the quiet confirmation that your inner world is shifting. When you change state, reality responds. These subtle markers, synchronicities, symbols, repeating numbers, aligned conversations, are evidence that the imaginal act is stirring. They are not random. They're the first fruits of belief.
As we are told, if we have been crucified with him in a death like his, we shall certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his. For we found union with him in a crucifixion like his. We're all crucified. I am. You are. Therefore, when we are individually raised from the dead, we shall find union with him in a resurrection like his. And everyone is going to be raised, but raised out of this body, not out of some little tomb in the cemetery. It doesn't matter where you drop this little garment, whether it's pulverized by a bomb, whether it's cremated, as so many of us today require, or whether it simply disintegrates in the land. It doesn't really matter. It's not there that you are. This is the tomb of God. This is the sepulchre of God. And here, and only here, we rise, and we rise from within. And these are the signs and the wonders. It begins with the resurrection. And the very night of the resurrection, within a matter of moments following the resurrection, is the birth from above, symbolized in the imagery of Scripture as a little child wrapped in swaddling clothes, which Simeon said it is a sign given to us for the fall and the rising of many in Israel. In other words, here is the sign. You can either accept it or reject it. You accept it as the sign, as Matthew tells us, of Emmanuel. God is with us. For this is the name given to the child. God is with us. When you see the child, then for that moment, it is God that is born. But who is born? You are born. You are the one who actually begins to awake. You awake within your own skull. And when you are completely awake, as you have never been awake before, you find yourself completely entombed within your skull. That's the sepulchre. And you're all alone, and no one helps you to get out. But you have an innate wisdom. You know exactly what to do. And you do it.
Here Neville dismantles superstition. The law of assumption doesn't rely on external omens. Signs are born within. Every image you hold, every scene you replay, every assumption you persist in, these are the seeds. When you dare to accept them as true, the outer world bends. It doesn't matter how impossible it seems. The law does not ask how. It only reflects that you dared to believe.
Dare to live in the end of your dream as though it were true, and it will become true. Just as Frost told us, Robert Frost, our founding fathers did not believe in the future. They believed it in. They didn't believe in the future, that something is going to happen regardless of what I do. It will happen because of what I do. Everything in my world is like imaginal activities projected. And I will make a better world or a more horrible world, depending on my imagined activities. But that's something entirely different from what's taking place in me, which is the story of Jesus unfolding. And it comes suddenly. It erupts without any warning whatsoever. But the things on the outside, if I know what I've imagined, I can tell what's going to happen in my world. I don't need the stars. The stars, they're Brutus, as you're told in Shakespeare. It's not in our stars, but in ourselves that we're underlings. Don't look to the stars to give you any direction as to what's going to happen to you, or to any teacup leaves or monkey bones or anything else. It's not there. It's all in your own wonderful human imagination.
This is the wonder. When the imaginal seed breaks through the soil of reality, what once lived only in thought suddenly appears in form. The conversation happens. The money arrives. The body heals. The law is simple but absolute. Signs come to assure you. Wonders come to confirm you. Both follow belief. Both are natural, Neville reminds us. Belief is not begging. Belief is living in the end, until the end is what lives. When we hear the phrase signs and wonders, it's tempting to think of lightning bolts, burning bushes, or mystical visions. But Neville brings it home. The signs are the whispers, and the wonders are the echoes. Sign may be so small you almost dismiss it. The job title you desire passes your feed. Stranger says the exact phrase you imagined. A number repeats. These are not coincidences. They are the law of consciousness showing you yes. The inner has already taken root. And the wonder, that's the full bloom. The very thing you dared to assume becomes your lived reality. You hold the letter, you walk into the room, hear the words spoken back to you. It seems miraculous, but it is not outside law. It is law fulfilled. Neville wanted us to strip away superstition and understand the simplicity. You do not wait for signs to begin believing. You believe first, and then the signs arrive. You do not chase wonders. You dwell in the state, and wonders find you. So what does this mean in practice? It means the signs and wonders of your life are already waiting on your belief. Do not measure them by scale. A wonder is no less a wonder because it came in the form of a smile, or a check, or an answered prayer. It is the same principle at work. The question is not whether signs and wonders will come. Neville assures us they must. The only question is, will you persist long enough in the assumption to let them? Tonight, let this teaching settle in. Look not for fire from heaven. Look for the quiet symbols that confirm your state. Treasure them, let them strengthen your faith. Know with certainty. The wonder is already unfolding. Signs and wonders follow belief. They always have, and they always will. And remember, signs like angel numbers, repeating patterns, or synchronicities are not predictions of a distant future. They are confirmations that you are already living in the state. They are proof that the assumption is alive now, and the wonder is simply the natural outflow. Thanks for listening. I'll drop timestamps and the 3 clips in the description so you can cut them for your own study. If you tried this in one small situation today, tell me what changed. Let's figure this out together.